Stephen Kinnock.
Yeah, I mean, I've campaigned for the Palestinian cause since the 1990s. I've been down there. I have always felt that the actions of the Israeli government are completely unacceptable. But I have never, ever felt that I needed to criticize the Israeli government in any way that tipped over into any sort of anti-Semitic comment. Yeah. So I do not understand.
It's perfectly possible to do both.
It's perfectly possible to do both.
Separate
and
them.
My second point would be, sunlight is the best disinfectant. We are being investigated by the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, which to me is a deep cause for shame. The only political party ever to have been investigated before by the EHRC is the British National Party, an overtly racist party. So that, for one, is disgraceful. But we have given a submission to the Equality and Human Rights Commission, the party has, which has not been shared with the National Executive Committee, who is the collective body responsible as the trustees of the party. Let's publish the EHRC submission. Why is that being brushed under the carpet? Because the leadership has to recognise that as long as you brush things under the carpet, you leave a vacuum. And into that vacuum, the worst possible assumptions will be projected. And unfortunately, what we saw last night is there's plenty of evidence for why those assumptions are being projected, because there is some disgraceful stuff happening in our party.
I mean, that was an open and shut case, was it not?
There is a deep well of hard left conspiracy theories about the world, the global capitalist system being run by a shady cabal of Jewish financiers. That mural,
Tom Watson, the deputy leader
in Tower Hamlets, is revolting.
Tom Watson, the deputy leader, talked about permitting.
You're asking why several times. The answer is, Jeremy Corbyn comes from a certain faction, a tradition of the Labour Party. When he became leader of the Labour Party, our membership increased massively. Certain people who came in on that wave of increased membership hold hard left conspiracy theories about which are anti-Semitic. So the answer to your question is, since 2015, the shape and nature of the membership of the Labour Party has changed, and that has created a permissive culture in the party. That's the answer to the question why.
Kinnock and Stephen Dowsey, I do want to read you a list of things that Jeremy Corbyn has said and done with regards to anti-Semitism. It's not just words where he has condemned it. Obviously, there was the Chakrabarti report back in 2016. Last year, he wrote, and in The Guardian, anti-Semitism was unacceptable in the Labour Party. He also acknowledged there was a real problem that Labour was trying to overcome. He said they were being too slow to go through the disciplinary processes. Last March, he said he was sincerely sorry for the pain caused by pockets of anti-Semitism within Labour. In a tweet in March, he said, "I will never be anything but a militant opponent of anti-Semitism." December the year before, he said anti-Semitism is repugnant. Meanwhile, the General Secretary, as you know, says she strengthened and speeded up the party's disciplinary procedures with more staff to handle allegations.
I welcome all of that.
Do you say that they have failed?
No, because what we saw in the Panorama programme yesterday was compelling evidence of political interference from the leader of the opposition's office into the investigation of cases. And as long as that's going on, we've got a real problem.
Right.
On auto-expulsion, it is ridiculous that somebody can be expelled from the party for supporting the Liberal Democrats, but can't be expelled from the party when there's prima facie evidence of anti-Semitism. Exactly. They should be automatically expelled from the party, and if there is a retroactive investigation which says they can be reinstated, fine. We've got to take radical action now, because faith in the Labour Party as a party of anti-racism and tolerance is being destroyed every day.
OK, I want to bring... Right, you must accept that, Stephen Kinnock. If no deal seems to be the course that we could potentially be on under a new Conservative Prime Minister, the only way to get out of that is to go back to the people and ask if they want that.
No, I mean, I think we can talk about having a second referendum until the cows come home, but the reality is every day that goes by takes us closer to a catastrophic no-deal crash out on the 31st of October. We're about to have a hard-right Tory Prime Minister who has said we will leave on the 31st of October, come hell or high water. The only way to stop that happening within that time frame is to vote for the withdrawal agreement bill that is on the table. As Josh correctly said, it's the only game in town. And that gets us to committee stage of the bill, where we can actually have a debate and a binding vote on whether or not to put it to a referendum. So it's all very well saying what we want and protesting about what we want, but there's no clear pathway apart from the withdrawal agreement bill.
You're asking your Labour colleagues to vote for whatever Boris Johnson, if he is the new Prime Minister, brings back to the House?
The withdrawal agreement bill.
Is that a yes or no?
The withdrawal agreement bill contains major concessions to Labour. Customs union, bill on workers' rights,
yes.
environmental standards. Yes, because it is not what's been brought back before. And Boris won't get any new deal because Brussels is closed for the summer. So it's got to be the withdrawal agreement bill or a hard deal crash out. We are playing with fire. Absolutely every word of what's just been said, but unfortunately, if we have a general election before the Brexit issue has been resolved, it's going to be a disaster for the Labour Party because it will all be about Brexit. It won't be about the whole nation, single.
And you will lose Labour, like in the European elections, you will lose voters to the Lib Dems.
We'll lose to the Lib Dems in the cities and university towns, and we'll lose to the Brexit Party in other areas. So we've got to resolve the Brexit issue so we can get politics back to where it actually should be.
Can I be positive?
Bread and butter issues for the Labour Party.
Can I be